Hey everyone, it's James. It is April 4th and it is about 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, BTC, USD on the Bitfinex exchange. First off, this is not investment advice. Second off, I like to just go over the overall trend. We are in a downtrend and we are putting in a series of lower highs and lower lows. So the lower lows stop about right here at the 6,000 bottom. The question is, do we put in a lower low below 6,000? I think the answer is yes. I think we may get a small bounce from this area, okay? And it may even be a good run, but I think ultimately we are going to break this and continue the trend. The only thing that's going to change my mind is if we bust above first the 7,500 level, and then second move all the way up to break out at 9,200. So that is quite some distance from here. Now, one thing I've talked about are my lines, right? And my lines are basically frequency lines based on price action. They box in price action, but in price action is just what occurs between buyers and sellers. That's exactly what these bars represent, what buyers and sellers are willing to pay for. So that's what we see here. We basically have the market framed in through just everyday technical analysis, and this is very simple technical analysis. But what you can see is that we have a high, we have a soft shoulder. This is what I call the reaction to a high. When the high cannot break over, I call it a soft shoulder, and you can see what happens during these soft shoulders. The same thing here, a high, a soft shoulder, and boom. All right, this one we have a high and no soft shoulder. So there's some extreme weakness right here. Now, what this line right here represents is where price is more than likely going to run out of energy and basically become fatigued, meaning that sellers will take control of the market. So when we look at it from a bigger picture, sellers have been in control of this market since back in December after the euphoric bubble run. Sellers have been in control and dominating this market continuously. Okay, so I know there's a lot of news out there that Bitcoin's going to the sky, but the thing is, this is reality, and what is really occurring right now is that sellers are in control of the market. You have a series of lower highs, a series of lower lows. It's very simple, basic analysis, but I can promise you don't have to overcomplicate things to trade. And we can see exactly what's occurring here. So if I just draw a pink line right through it, just like that, you can see the frequency of price. You can see their price is oscillating around a negative line, okay? It's really that simple. So now, obviously, there's much more that goes into setting up your trade and so forth like that, but this is not investment advice. So anyways, what we have is we have a former uptrend line for those who have been following my videos, right? And I talked about this uptrend line, and I thought that we might have been able to retest this area and then create a nice uptrend structure, which is what I've been looking for. I've been calling for a higher low above 6,000, but I definitely think that window is closing and closing dramatically. Had this run turned into something much bigger, it would have been a different story. But since this run just fizzled out almost immediately, it makes me think that we have much more downside to go. So anyways, since we did not touch this area and we just failed right before it, leaving this gap here is another sign of exhaustion. This means that sellers are in control of this market. All right, so I've said that and I've reiterated myself multiple times already just in the past 4 minutes, but it's the reality of what is occurring here. This market is dominated by sellers, and everything is showing you that. Every single thing is showing you that. So anyways, what is occurring here is now we've had basically, this is the pattern that I thought. So we have, you have your W bottoms, you have your top, you have your soft shoulder, and then your rollover. You have like a W bottom, you have a top. There's no soft shoulder yet. That may come into play, okay? It's going to come in much lower than it typically would, but if it does come into play, it's going to happen somewhere maybe in this area around 71, 7,200, and then from there we should continue the rollover downward. Or what's going to happen, there's something else happening here too. If you turn your head about 20, maybe like 10, 20 degrees to the left, looking at your screen, unless you're watching upside down, right here we can see a coil forming. So if we start to build out a coil in this area, this is going to change the game, okay? Now, more than likely, this coil is going to lead to more downside, especially if it is an upward coil, which the pattern community calls a bear flag, okay? And Bitcoin has a history of creating bear flags that lead to disaster continuously. So here's just some multiple ones right here. That's a big one right there. Here's a small one right here. It's just the same. This one, here's an upward coil that turned into more upside, right? But you can see the same thing, just continuously occurring, these little flags. Now this is just more of a sideways consolidation, but I do think that if we continue to repeat what has been occurring in this market and we do coil out this way, consolidate this way, right, like so, then I think there's a higher probability we go down versus up, and that price is going to just churn around in this area and build consolidation before making a bigger move down. Now, I'll have to take it day by day and see how that plays out. Keep in mind, these are 4-hour bars, okay? This is not something that I'm going to try to guess what the future, holds if we do not have a clear-cut pattern yet. And right now we do not. Right now we just have a reiteration of a current pattern and a failure of that pattern, which is showing weakness, and a failure to touch a former uptrend line. So typically price will return to these zones, and since it has not, it does show weakness. So we'll see how tonight plays out, but like I've said in my prior videos, I'm not bullish on Bitcoin right now. It does not mean this is the nail in the coffin for Bitcoin and Bitcoin's going to zero or anything like that. This is just simple technical analysis and analysis of a market that is clearly in a downtrend. And the only way that downtrend is going to change is once you have a series of higher highs and higher lows, okay? This is a much bigger picture because we're on a 4-hour chart. So keep that in mind here. But this is not intraday trading here. Anyways, we'll see what pans out. I gave everybody the figures. Basically, if we do move down and we continue moving downward and we break out of 6,400 to the downside, then you can pretty much rest assured that we are headed down to 6,000 and more than likely just going to break right through it. And it's going to be a bloody, horrific weekend for Bitcoin and going into next week as well too. So yes, there may be some chopping and some volatility along the way, but that is only there to confuse investors about what's really going on in the market. And what's really going on right now is that we are headed downward. Now, like I said, if we head back up, right, first we have to take out 7,500. We take out 7,500. The next line of resistance is right around 7,700, 7,800, depends on where we reach this line. And then from there, the next major resistance is going to be about 9,300, depending on where price goes. So anyways, those are the upside numbers. Those are the downside numbers. My analysis at the end of the day, my perception of what is occurring in this market is negative, and we can see that clearly from all the lines that I have on the chart. The only positive line I had has been broken. So that's it. I hope everybody has a great night or great day, depending on where you are in the world. If you do like the video, you do like the content, please like, subscribe, follow, comment down below. If I have time, I will try to get back to you. I'm extremely busy. If you want to follow me on social media, you can visit my site, geometriccharts.com. On my site, you can scroll to the bottom. I have my links to the YouTube channel, I have my links to the Twitter account, and I have my links to the free Slack community that is cryptocurrency based. So it's a great community with over 170 members. I think it's around 174, 175 now or something. But anyways, the point is that there's a lot of people there and everyone's friendly. I have not had to kick out a single person. So this has honestly been like the best like a community I've ever been a part of, to where people are actively helping each other, answering each other's questions. They're sharing their own analysis, their own opinions, and they're sharing their own charts too. So, and then you also have updates through my videos, like I post them there in case you miss a notification through one of the social media outlets. But anyways, if you're interested in it, I would highly suggest that you join the Slack community. It's absolutely free. There's no one in there selling you anything. It's just, it is what it is. You know, I do offer a subscription service, but I'm not there to hammer you into that or anything like that. That is, you know, just if you want it, talk to me, and that's it. And you can learn more about that on my site too. But anyways, again, I thank you for your time. I thank you for your support, and I will talk to everybody tomorrow.